drinks during the reading. Is there anybody else who's hoping to get some coffee or something before we start? Everyone has their beverages? Okay. I have some exciting news to share with you. Some of you probably know this already, but Mel entered a contest, and the result of this contest was the publication of a book from Harlequin romantic suspense called Latimer's Law. It's for sale here at the bookstore tonight, and there will be a book launch reading on Saturday at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3:30. So I think a good way that we could show our appreciation for what Mel's done for the poetry community and for Northwest authors, let's be honest about that. All kinds of writing in all kinds of genres would be to show up and congratulate her on the publication of this book. And you could say thank you by buying a copy too, but that's up to you. So I usually start all the readings with a poem by somebody, but I asked Mel if it would be okay if she or I read something from the book, and she decided that she would prefer it if I read something. So we read the beginning of the book to give you a little taste, and maybe it will make you want to read some more. Chapter 1. The last straw was a single, ridiculous button. Abby shifted the paper grocery sack in her arms as she stepped out of the convenience store. The hard plastic cap of the orange juice nudged at just the wrong place, the curve under her biceps where the bruises had never quite faded in the past few months. No bruises where they couldn't be covered. Long practice brought skill. She moved the sack again, and a button burst from her worn chambray shirt. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yep.
Chambray?
Chambray.
She followed the button's freewheeling path across the concrete sidewalk until it plummeted off the curb. It bounced across the white stripe of a parking space and into the black shadow beneath a pickup truck. With a sigh, Abby went around the half-open driver's door, looking apologetically into the cab. How to explain she needed the driver to move the truck so she could find a button? She couldn't come home from the store with that particular button missing, right at the shallow hollow between her breasts. Well, it was unthinkable. Her mind raced ahead, picturing the scenario. She could drop the button on the floor when she put the sack on the kitchen counter as if it had come loose at that very moment. The trick could work, but only if she had the button. The pickup was empty. Empty. With the keys in the ignition and the engine running. The shimmering brilliance of an impossible, desperate solution forced all the air out of Abby's lungs. Escape. Abby didn't glance toward the store or look around for the truck's driver. She dumped the grocery bag into the passenger seat and hoisted herself in behind the wheel, feeling the soreness in her arms and back. She yanked the door closed and settled into the seat. 3 pedals on the floor, gear shift in neutral, on the column, parking brake set. Her heart lurched. She couldn't let herself think beyond the physical mechanics of making the truck go. She stretched her leg to stomp the clutch, studied the gear shift a moment, and worked it into reverse. Maybe 6 years since she'd driven a manual transmission, and months since she'd driven at all. The bank repossessed the car when she couldn't make the payments. But before that, there'd been a series of repairs that consumed the meager savings that she and her husband Gary had scraped together. What didn't go into the adult daycare business went to the mechanic. Fate was kind. Abby managed not to stall as the truck groaned into reverse out of the parking space. She rode the crow-hopping lurches into first gear, pulling herself close to the steering wheel because the seat was too far back. But there was no time to adjust it. Something heavy fell over in the covered bed of the truck, and Abby felt a gut punch of guilt. She was stealing a truck. Email about buying a book that she can point out to you some interesting things about the cover.
Or you can go ahead and tell them about the spectral leg on the front.
Yes, there is a spectral penis on the front of this, pointing towards north, I guess, towards 12 o'clock. Of course, Mel had nothing to do with that, but I guess they're hoping that subliminally it will get your attention and make you want to read the rest.
Breasts, are there any breasts?
Not on the cover, but inside, plenty of breasts. Yes. I would imagine. romantic suspense, right? At least a few, right?
Rated R.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Mel, and those of you who can, let's please come back and congratulate her officially on Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
Or tonight.
And we will begin tonight's open mic as we have previously with Tiffany. Yeah, let's give her a hand.
Hello. I have 3 poems, one that I wrote and 2 that my friend in New York wrote. So she happens to be one of my favorite poets, so I thought I would read some of her stuff. So this first one's called For 2 Goodbyes. You and I are writing the same sad song today. The one about letting go and moving on. The one where there are blank places where his things used to be. The one where we touch every last shirt, every hairbrush, every ticket stub, every guitar pick, and baptize them with goodbye. There is nothing more to say, nothing more to write. It's all packed away, and only the memories linger. May they pass quickly, leave no trace, no evidence to keep us awake at night. May they leave no disturbing questions, no more what-ifs. May they pack neatly into boxes and never come out again to ruin what is new and what is good and what is to come. May we be strong enough to put them away for good. You and I are warriors, sister, but so soft we are in love. That's by Karen Marder. And this is one I wrote called I Am Not a Deadhead. I am surrounded by miniature men in berets and scarves. I sit and drink a Rubinator at the Crystal Ballroom. Some old guy is telling Grateful Dead stories. This bores the fuck out of me. The first band was good, but the Grateful Dead tribute band was lost on me. I have never been into this band. I would have never been a Deadhead. I might at some point try Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia ice cream, but that is as far as I will go. Old hippies in their tie-dyed skirts, shirts, Birkenstocks, and headbands transport me. They send me into the 60s, a generation before I was born. They cling to this time like a newborn to their mother's breast. The music is loud, and the backdrops are spirographs and weird images. The room is dampened by the smell of Mary Jane as it burns the hairs in my nose. I walk out the doors where the crystals hang, glad to be back in 2014. And this last one's also by Karen Marder. It's called Sunflower. Most of you know I usually read poems about sunflowers. So, she is a sunflower, like her mother before her, her daughter too, and her granddaughter to be, her niece. The women of this family are sunflowers in the garden of my life of weeds and dirt. I will cool them with water from the reservoir. I direct the sun their way. I place stakes around them for support so they grow up straight and tall. I lay low underneath, and when their seeds fall in autumn, I catch one in my mouth and swallow it. So maybe I can be a sunflower too. Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany. And now an old friend of the series, Lori Loringer. Come on.
Howdy. I don't want to scare you all with that mic, so I'm loud enough. All right, let's see. A couple of short ones and a long one. I did not title this. I eat only sunlight and water, birdsong and the drift of clouds across the summer sky. Nourished thus by the varying frequencies of nature's waves, the more ridiculous energies of human behavior bounce off and get all the attention they deserve. All right, I don't think I read this one last time. It's one of I put on a postcard. It's titled Walking Downtown with Friends. Portland, it's from February this year. Near the park blocks, A round girl in a panda hat is talking about unicorns. A middle-aged couple asks us for directions to the Mac stop on Yamhill Street, and she says, "Yamhill? That's where the unicorns are." I want to tell her yes, and they're all horny and hung like horses, but I don't think she needs the encouragement, so I just smile and wave. All right, and this is called Only Love. You've stumbled into a love mecca, my child. Like the witch's house of candy, you wonder what the catch is and hesitate. Delicious poison is poison still. You linger in the doorway, shifting from foot to foot, getting colder and hotter. Come in, settle down. This is not toxic love. No sugar-coated Satan sandwich. Poor child, you've fallen into a sticky pit of the real deal. That's why they call it falling in love. Do not fear, beautiful boy. All fear is past, and only love is here. It's not a trap. Still, there's no escaping. This love is yours from now on, whether you like it or not. We won't stop loving you. Settle in. Let it cover you like a perfect blanket until you feel just right. Let it soak in and coat you until you become only love. I stole that one.
Well, it's likely that I stole it from somewhere else, so let's just keep paying it forward. Yeah. Sugar-coated Satan sandwich for everybody. Next, we're going to hear from one of my fellow MCs, host of a cool series over at Paper Tiger, Joyce Colson.
Beautiful lighting to go on this one. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a shameless plug even though Chris already gave part of a shameless plug. The 21st of May, third Wednesday, and every third Wednesday at Paper Tiger Coffee Roasters at 703 Grand. I host an open mic poetry there. The next reader, the 21st of May, will be April Bullard. And so mark that in your calendars. I'm going to share 2 poems tonight. One's very short and to the point, only 6 lines, and the other one's a full page. The first one's called Fair Trade. The tree gives us air. The sky gives us rain and wind. Earth gives us nourishment. Below the earth gives us minerals. And in return, what does the us do? Why, simple. We rape, pillage, and plunder. And this was dedicated to poets everywhere, called The Birth of Expression. On the wings of silence I flow through the sky, casting my eyes to miniature kingdoms below. I am cousin to the winds. I am the child of nighttime stars. I live through the visions of living. I am the essence of existence. It is the glories of colored sunsets and the majesty of horizons where I roam as free as clouds, where I linger in aromas of living. Some call me the enigma of now. Others insist I am the borrowed yesterday. And there are those who say quietly, I am the essence of existence. I am part and parcel of everything. I am the sum of the whole and greater than the parts of living. If you listen closely, I whisper. This is my legacy for existence. I flow on the wings of silence. I grow from the imagination of poets. I am the essence of existence. I wait with anticipation to unfold and fly from the magic hat of creativity and feed my soul on inspiration. I am the essence of existence. I am indeed the heart and soul of expression. I am the angst and euphoria of words. I am the delicious sounds of rhyme. I am the delicate aromas of rhythm. I am the ecstatic birth of the poet's words. Let me exist in your thoughts. I am the love of confession. I am the essence of existence. I am that I am. I am a poet.
If you go down to Mon Ami on Main Street here, you can see poetry, painting, and collage work from our next reader, Grace Valentine.
Hi there. And also on May 31st, the last Saturday of this month, there is going to be a poetry reading night at Mon Ami. So it's a special after-hours event, and everyone here is invited. And please come. There'll be some featured poets and as well as open mic slots. So it's from 7 to 9 p.m. Mon Ami. 2 poems. Marry not the frenzy. Do not speak to me of your hunger, of talons bared for the stripping of clothing, not flesh, of the randy rudeness of rutting elk, nostrils flared, whirling wildly about the room, not a forest marsh. Do not speak to me of your hunger, of the feel of slick spawning salmon, fins flashing through the wet world of woman, not ocean or river, nor compare the power of words to presence, to nearness, to a container filled with wild beasts. Do not tell me of your hunger, of raw animal desires, and of dreams yet to be fulfilled by the warmth of your open flame. Great Spirit evokes unrestrained free flow of words cascading over breath. My words awaken caved air, waiting, pacing restless at the edge of life, not the woods. For my spirit does not bear the weight of your hunger, hungry man, does not bear flesh and blood, whose purpose wrestles not against authorities of the unseen world, whose shawl of plumage bears full armor of weightless bones and broken shackles, beneath whose sky candle glows, bears invitation to celestial ceilings, welcome embrace. And marry not the frenzy alloy of wickedness in heavenly places. And marry not the frenzy alloy of man's needs masquerading, insisting upon ignorance, extracting strength from fragility. Trade not your sanctuary, woman. As Kundalini rises, the divine uncoils cosmic expansiveness, hibernating deep within your being. Thank you. To the invisible among us. Their stories are written in the pain where the light in their eyes used to reside. In the sloping shoulders curved from carrying the weight of secrecy. In their childlike passivity and avoidance of volunteering or speaking up. Preferring shadows to the lights of this world's stage. The women we walk past in the grocery stores, eyes cast down upon the ground. And the sisters that we see strolling along the waterfront with red-rimmed eyes and tear-streaked cheeks. To the one-sided conversations that we overhear of dates and wives and mothers being berated publicly for failing to perform within his expectations some duty of service. And to our girlfriends sharing how humiliated they felt when he said that in front of our group of friends so casually. Smiling at the men in the group like, "You're with me, buddy. Yeah, you hear me." Leading to one or more in the group tossing their insignificant other under the bus. Mind-boggling, really. Yet it happens all around whenever one ventures out into the social scene or even a restaurant parking lot. Shame, secrecy, less than, no vote, no voice. The invisible who walk among us. And what would it take to be the change in the world? And would it be a sacrifice to intentionally make eye contact and possibly smile at, when appropriate, any one of these wounded souls? And what ripple effect would a hello? My soul sees your soul, and your presence here on earth matters. Namaste, dear one, of nearly extinguished inner light. I recognize you exist, and I honor your existence. Can I be of any assistance today? And will my smile be the thread that she holds on to as she closes her eyes and brings her head and heart to rest at the end of the day? I wonder such things as the power of a smile. Eye contact or no eye contact. The kindness of words extended towards raw pain. Not solutions, but perhaps windows flickering images of an alternate reality, one in which love is a viable presence, where access to joy is not eclipsed, and where the moon offers illumination, not scary shadows and tortured soul films. We are the spaces in between. We are the smiles, the tenderness that just might matter. And we are the mirrors that reflect back light. And if you bear witness to cruelty, shine the light of compassion reflected back in tribute. If you are led to speak, speak. You are worthy. You are priceless. You are beautiful. And radiate, piercing the black hole of all that is missing. And be the soul in the absence of soul to the greatest extent possible. Offer up a token of recognition. I bear witness to your suffering, your humiliation, your shame. And I offer you acceptance and love and compassion, not pity nor judgment. Challenge ourselves. Try not averting your eyes, pretending you didn't hear, and stepping over the homeless. Model unity of consciousness, for we are one, inch by inch, and moment by moment, and breath by breath. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll have Maggie O'Mara.
Excuse me?
Power to the short people. 2 weeks ago, I picked out 3 Mother's Day poems that I was going to share, and then something horrible happened in Nigeria. And I thought about it, and words came. And so instead of what I was going to share, I'm going to share this. It's not titled yet, but it's about those 300 young girls. Engulfed by darkness, they cry in the darkness, snatched away by hatred, snared by prejudice, thrust into the chains of ignorance, encircled in shackles of degradation. This can't be their fate. Young innocents, girls on the verge of womanhood, on the threshold of greatness, torn down by monsters, maiden doves desiring flight, wings ripped away by those who are less than men. Education, font of knowledge, they only wanted to learn. Who spirited them away to slake the hungers of the vile? Who will save them? Who will soothe their battered souls? Who will dry the tears of their mothers? Engulfed by darkness, they cry in the darkness. Snatched away by hatred, thrust into the chains of ignorance, encircled by shackles of degradation. They are our daughters. They are our sisters. They are us. This will not be our fate.
Next we're going to hear from Ian Caton.
We got a flyer I wanted to share with everybody. It's coming up on June 23rd through the 27th that week. I'll be student teaching that week, but there's a special needs children are learning to ride bicycles. It's really something really cool. And they're doing it inside of a gym, and they need volunteers. And if you had the time and you got the heart, and I know a lot of people do, for children, it'd be awesome. You get to see special kids learn how to ride a bicycle, and it'll be a gift to you, and it'll be a gift to them. So I'll put that here. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a longer one. It's called Dark Matter. And I wrote, it's a trilogy. It's got 3 parts to it. And then there's a companion poem. And I wrote the companion poem 2 months ago. And I just wrote, and the companion poem is going to be the epilogue. And this is the first part. So I read the epilogue a couple months ago here. I read it. It was the one that goes about Sanctus. And somebody told me that I needed to make that one longer. And I said, I can't make that longer. But so it just kind of goes Sanctus, Sanctus, and it's kind of crazy. This one's called Dark Matter. The opening, the opening breakfast. She drops the newspaper on my desk and tells me 85%. 85% of what, I ask? She drops the newspaper on my kitchen table and tells me 85%. Between the coffee and the half and half I have left out, and the crumbs from my toast, pumpernickel rye with butter, an article from the Wall Street Journal or some other respected news source. 85% of what, I ask? Over 1/4 of the universe, she said. It's dark matter. I thought you just said 85%, I said. Doesn't matter. It's all dark matter, she said. How do we know this, I ask. Doesn't matter, she tells me. They're coming together, 1 mile beneath the earth. Who, I ask. The scientists, she tells me. They're coming together to conduct experiments. For 300 days, they will congregate 1 mile beneath the earth in South Dakota, the Black Hills, she tells me. Hiding from cosmic rays, these scholars will study and chant and pray and search for some proof of this dark matter. Burning incense with vows of silence and secrecy in a trance-like state, meditating on the gravitational pull. It brings things together, she says. It's just like the glue of the universe. And then what, I ask. And then you can finish your pumpernickel toast, she tells me. Part 2, The Conjuring, an invitation. I see you looking over your shoulders. What were you doing out in South Dakota? 1 mile beneath those snow-capped Black Hills, burning incense, chanting the names of your idols over and over. Darwin, Dawkins, Hawking, Voltaire. In a trance-like state, for 300 days they've gathered, these mystic priests of science, hiding from cosmic rays, shooting out gamma rays to find this elusive stuff, this dark matter. What is this stuff that makes up More than 85% of our known universe, they haven't got a clue. But now they're saying it's destroying itself inside the Milky Way's core. This has now become an urgency. And this is part 3, the gathering, banquet. How would you describe your sense of vision to someone who cannot see? How would you explain the Grand Canyon to a blind man? How would you describe the taste of a Granny Smith sour apple to a person without a tongue? Or a cappuccino to one who cannot taste? That sensation, how would you describe Tchaikovsky's Pathetic or Brian Eno's Ascent to someone who cannot hear? What are they doing down there? That sensation to feel, to smell, the scent of fresh bread or an apple pie cooling in the windowsill. How would you describe that to a person who cannot? Who cannot? What are they doing down there? You can see them working feverishly in the shadow of their gamma rays, hiding from all light and cosmic rays, and all other high energy particles and WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles. We only know they're there by measuring the gravity released, absolved, acquit, annul, void, dispersed, displaced, relegate, supersede, supplant, unmake, usurp, uncrown, exiled, banished, deposed. It's keeping me up at night. I cannot sleep. This dark matter is affecting me. It has affected me. What are they doing down there? You can see the silhouettes of these mystics, dressed in robes with Coke bottle lenses, in a trance chanting to their gods. These monks of science in white lab coats and pocket protectors stuffed with a cargo of pens and mechanical pencils, a slide rule clutching scientific calculators and iPads, reams of yellow legal paper with calculations and inscriptions, searching for proof of this dark matter, proof of their very existence, of their soul and of God himself. These pujaris ripping off their clothing and dancing to the fire pit and to the drums, and the gravity bringing everything together. Existence and consciousness and other worlds and otherworldliness and vows of celibacy and prayer and meditation and study and in trance. Burning, testing procedures and hypotheses, experiments and research, burning and burning the midnight oil. The fragrant incense, how would you describe that smell to someone who wasn't there? To someone who could not smell, who did not have the ability, olfactory system gone, no taste, no scent, those shadows bouncing off the stone wall. Deep within the cave, 1 mile beneath the earth, the snow-capped Black Hills of South Dakota. How would you describe this scene to those who cannot see, to those who cannot discern the colors, the shadows bouncing off each other, the orange light, the fire, the green flames, the blue core, the white, the hellish red? Those men of science, these mystic bodhisattvas, these priests of algebra, of quantum theory, these searchers, how would you describe this scene to those who were not there, to those who cannot feel the immensity of the universe, of the gravitational pull, of the longing, of the pull of the dance and the rhythm of the chanting? How would you describe this scene to those who cannot feel, who cannot know that there is something else out there, that there is something beyond that gravity, beyond what we know? Only 15% of the universe is not dark matter, for Shiva's sake, and for the wrath of Ganesh. Oh, holy Krishna, oh, mighty Vishnu, how can we describe this scene to those who were not there? And do you think these 5 senses are the only 5? Are these 5 senses the only way to measure and assess and to judge and know and to understand and feel? And then what about love? How do we know that is something real? Maybe love is just some illusion we have imagined upon ourselves, some group trance, some mass hysteria, collective obsessional behavior we have commanded upon ourselves as a means of survival, our instinct to belong, our instinct to survive. And so we have created this illusion called love. How do we know that this is a real thing? Well, let me ask you, do you have any kids? Do you have any children of your own? Sure, but maybe that's just some sort of way to live forever, to ensure your DNA's survival, survival of the egg, survival of the fish, survival of the spermatozoa, the male dominance, that Y chromosome. What are they doing down there?
Hey, y'all. Hi. Hey, y'all. Good to see you all. I'm going to read something new, and then we're going to get back to our open mic. I've just put some of the finishing touches on this today, and it's kind of still in transition, maybe. It's called syncopation. Syncopation is snow inside the clock tower, a sound full and deep, cursed with melancholy, a thud-thud that lingers in the thin air between the bells. Syncopation is holiness under the crow's wing. Feathers beat like breath, thumping a plea too late for clemency, subsumed in shadows like martyrs in quicksand. Who will sing the melody when the bells silence and the crow's nubile throat is forever shuttered, lost in the whim of fate or an ordeal by fire? The only sign left is the wind after our transgressions, when it's too late to push the reset button or to retrieve loved ones pushed beyond an arm's length. Before the world ends, I want to accept that nothing is as pure as love. Nothing is as simple as the rat-tat-tat of the heart. And next we're going to hear a special performance tonight by Rainy Night. Come on up, Rainy.
You just said what I wanted to say 90 seconds ago.
Christopher keeps saying songs are poetry and poetry are songs. And that got me to thinking. Plus, it's Mother's Day. It's Sunday.
I think I got it. Got it all? Okay.
Oh, no, there's. Yeah, and then. Okay. I haven't performed in public on the guitar in 30 years, so you wouldn't cut me some slack. Right? Yeah. Are you with me? Okay, this is called Mom, Morning, and Night. Who listened to my stories when I was young, both of joy and woe? Who patched my wounds when I was hurt? Everybody should know. You were there, Mom, when I thought it was an uphill fight. You were with me, Mom, morning and night. Who was my friend when I was lonely? Who calmed little angry me? Who taught me to love thy neighbor and truth will set you free? You were there, Mom, when I thought it was an uphill fight. You were with me, Mom, morning and night. Who made me do chores when I didn't want to? Who made me eat oatmeal mush? Who put up with my growing pains and made me catch a school bus? You were there, Mom, when I thought it was an uphill fight. You were with me, Mom, morning and night. was time for me to grow up, get married, and be on my way. Who let go with grace and love? Bet I don't need to say. You were there, Mom, when I thought it was an uphill fight. You were with me, Mom, morning and night. Thank you, and honoring another mother, my neighbor Delta, who has lived there since the 80s, just turned 90. And I just have a high regard for her because she, like my mother, was a nurse. And she's just got that can-do attitude. She's just really a feisty little thing, and she goes and sings with a senior chorus, and she dances every week. And I mean, she's out gardening. She's amazing. So I wrote this for her birthday. It's called O Delta. I can only imagine what you have witnessed during your life and times. What a glorious life you must have lived, serving others, patching wounded bodies, spirits, and hearts. I am in awe of a sturdy soul such as yours that dances and laughs and sings and hugs life around the belly. You are a shining star in humanity's constellation, definitely someone to emulate. As you approach your sunset, I know from observing that you shall dance, sing, and laugh all the way to your horizon. Happy 90th birthday and many more.
Oh, this is really great. Bravo, Rainey.
Thank you.
Rainey has put the name of our next reader down, and this must be a pet name.
What's that? He says
scared now.
technically,
I wonder who it could be. Mr. Herbal Sage.
herbal, yeah, sage, I don't know. Another word for smart, isn't it? In New York, it means smart ass.
I was being facetious.
Your sister name is facetious? You Greek?
Carol.
Oh. What is this poking me in the face for? Oh, it's one of those things. They canonized two popes the other day. Both were present during the 50-year period of rapes to children and the hiding of the atrocities. I didn't get to see the ceremony, but I would have liked to see a bunch more cardinals and bishops also stuffed inside that cannon and be shot up to heaven, where they belong. And this is a little piece called Bedroom Tree. I saw it about 2 or 3 days ago when I noticed a tree trying to climb through the window into my bedroom. I have a tree outside my bedroom window that likes to play peekaboo with me on a windy day or evening. I see the branches heave and the leaves closest to my window spread open, and I feel two greenish orbs peering into my room. When I peer back, the leaves close and wait for me to turn my head, then watch me again from a new vantage point. And again, I stare back at the new position. We keep this up until one of us gets tired of the game, or the wind does, and goes running off across the street to pester poor old Mrs. Lindstrom, who I am certain won't play the game and will consider the shaking of the tree branches as merely wind in the trees.